chores, baking bread, and rabbit names finally revealed on this video today. So everyone, the pigs have gotten quite significantly bigger. Quite significantly bigger. So, but it's all good. Just brought them up some water. Piggy little pigs. There they all are. Got very big. Much bigger than what they were when you last saw them. Even though they're trying to talk over me. That's what I've realized with the pigs, is they tend to talk over me. Same with the goats. Goats do the same thing. But that's okay. So. Throwing the side of the bucket. So. Okay. Pardon that. There we go. So. Lost the stand, I'm not sure how, but gotta try to hold it out here with my hand. Makes it rather difficult because you get these really cool, awkward shots of my face. But here's the chickens. We're gonna let them out. Chickens and the geese. Chickens at least, for now. The gorgeous, handsome roux, right there. Him in all his glory. From the hens. One of our EEs. So, give them some feed, because that's what they came out for. The lighter one in the bunch there, that's Ursula. That's one of our EEs. The only chicken we actually named. That. Let's go do the geese. Try to walk around everybody here. There we go. Back to the geese. Okay. Now that the geese are trying to talk over me here. So, next step is to do the goats and the rabbits, and we'll gotta go back inside and get some water. Cause well, up here in the winter, the last storm we had probably about 18 inches. Well, up to 18 inches. I'm not quite sure what the final total was at the house, but. Can't necessarily run hoses around. In the spring and summer when it's not freezing, I do run some hoses from the house out to there. Works out pretty well. Makes it super nice and easy. Turn on the hose, go fill up the waters and stuff. So it's just a little bit easier for everybody, not having to lug 5-gallon buckets around, because, well, it kind of stinks. I'm with the boys today. And we got the rabbits. Fiona, Gideon, and Kira. Just got some fresh water. There we go. We got the new boy, one of which is Sylvester. And you got the other two here, Max. And then you have Maple. And Hazel. So they're all crowded on one water, even though there are 2 waters on here. So they need some food though, so feed them and go from there. All the goats. There's little Feline over there, hiding in the corner, but she's doing very good. Got Nick crawling up on me here, and Ophelia. Holly's up in the feeder. Nick will get up there too eventually. But fed everybody and now everybody's happy. So hi. Oh, come on out here, see, show everybody. There you go. See, she's got bigger. She's doing very good. Adapting very well. And good news, Ethel, wants to run away. But Ethel is pregnant. She does have an udder forming. It's not a big one, but it's forming. She's carrying a little bit differently than Lucy did, so we're thinking twins at least. But we'll see. And we're thinking closer to March. So, but hi, Ophelia. Yep. Give you a video of all the goats just doing their thing.
You along to make bread. We haven't bought store bread in probably 3 months now. I just break out this giant stand mixer. It's a KitchenAid. And I make our own bread. So I have about a tablespoon of honey in my bowl. And to that, I'm going to add 2 cups of warm water. And I'm just going to let the hot water kind of get the honey nice and warm for a minute. And I am going to stir it around. This is really bad one-handed, FYI. Okay. So I got a little spatula. I'm going to stir the honey around. The yeast I'm using is a instant active dry yeast or whatever it is. It's one of those ones you don't have to let sit in a water sugar mixture. I do anyways because I've had bread have little granules sometimes, and I don't want any little yeast granules in my bread. So you're gonna get a small little tour of my kitchen because the yeast is in my fridge in a Ziploc baggie. So, I'm sure we've probably mentioned here and there, we're fixing up our house one room at a time, which is why we haven't done like a house tour, because everything's kind of in a messy state. We started with the baby's room, which used to be my brother's room, and I wish I had a before and after of it. I just don't. And next is the upstairs bathroom. Okay, so to my honey water, so it was a tablespoon of honey, 2 cups of warm water. I added a tablespoon of yeast. I'm just going to give that another little stir with the spatula, make sure everybody's wet and in the party. And you can already smell it starting. So here's a brief. As you can tell, my kitchen is a mess. You know, wall that needs to be repaired, another wall that needs to be repaired. It's a work in progress. It's going to be for a couple years. So I'm going to let that guy hang out. So to this, I'm going to add about a teaspoon of salt. Normally I don't add salt. I'm going to today. And then I'm going to add anywhere between 4 to 6 cups of flour. I kind of just gauge it on how sticky the dough is. So I'm going to go ahead and do that stuff, and I'll bring you right back once the dough's formed. So I got this mixing. I added 3 cups of flour to start, and I'm going to let this do its thing. I found with this bread recipe, if I don't add as much flour and I don't overmix it, it's a super light and fluffy loaf that slices like a dream. It's amazing. I'm going to let it rise for 2 to 2.5 hours first in the bowl, and then I'm going to preheat my oven to the lowest setting because I don't have a proof button. I'm going to preheat it to the lowest setting, and then I'm going to stick the dough in their bread pans in the oven to rise like that. And then right from the oven, I will preheat it to what I bake it at, which is about 400 degrees. And I will let it go in the oven from that preheat right till it's done. It usually takes like 20-25 minutes. I just tap on it. When it sounds hard and hollow, the bread's done. Some people stick it with a thermometer. I myself don't. I just tap. We don't have time for thermometer sticking here. Here's my flour bucket. This is how I store my flour. I get big 50 pound bags of flour. My brother works at a restaurant warehouse facility, so he brings me flour when I need it, and it's easier to store it in 5-gallon buckets. So this is cup number 4 that I added. I'm going to see what kind of texture this gives me. Sometimes 4 cups is enough, and sometimes it needs a little extra because it's just too sticky. It all depends on the day. I've had to add as much as 5.5 cups to the same recipe. I want it to be a little sticky. I don't want it to be like a harder dough, because I want to get that nice, light, fluffy, airy texture. Actually, part of the reason I'm making bread today is because we're having BLTs for dinner, and you can't have BLTs without bread. So, here we are. But I figured I'd share this bread recipe with you guys. It's my favorite one that I've come across. It's the only one that I've found that I can slice literally like probably 1/4 inch slices off of, and they stay together and they don't crumble. So I'm just going to give this a little poke. Oh, that's still a little too sticky, so I'm going to add 1/2 cup. Because as you can see, it's forming a nice dough. I don't want to add too much flour and have it not be that nice dough. So I just added like about another 1/2 cup. I didn't measure out an exact half. I used about half of my 1 cup. And I think that's going to do it, guys. Yep, I think that's going to do it. Cover up my big flour bucket. Husband's going to kill me. I keep letting swear words slip, and I shouldn't be. So if you do add too much flour to this recipe, it's not bad. It becomes like a denser loaf of bread. I use, if I feel like the dough is too dense for sandwich bread, which usually you could tell about how it rises, which I'll show you when we get to that 2-hour rise period. It makes like a great French type loaf to go with beef stew or chili or whatever. The denser breads do. I like it light and fluffy for sandwich bread. So we'll see you back in like 2 hours. Here's the dough about 2 hours. After making it, it's more than doubled in size. I got 2 greased bread pans because this recipe makes 2 loaves of bread. And I have my oven preheating to 175 degrees. That's the lowest it'll go. I'll actually shut it off after it's been going for like 10 minutes, and then I'll put the bread into proof, and then from there I will preheat the oven again to 400 degrees and bake the bread for 20-25 minutes and pull it out. So I'm going to get this dough in the pans, and we'll see you back when the bread's finally finished. Finished product, guys. I don't know if you could tell, it sounds nice and hollow. It's nice and soft and fluffy feeling. So excited to cut into this for dinner. And yeah, 2 2 loaves of bread and an afternoon. One of these, depending on how much we eat over the next 2 days, I might stick this bigger guy in the freezer. Because we're probably not going to go through both loaves before they go moldy. And I'd really hate to feed this homemade bread to the pigs, even though they would love it. But yeah, here's a top view. I did put a slit in each. This one was a little bit harder to put the slit in than this guy was, but they came out gorgeous. And yeah, that's all I got for you right now, and I hope you guys have a good night.
So it's finally time to reveal rabbit names. For the boys' names, we've gone with Sylvester and Max. Those are the 2 cream champagne cross Dargents, or Dargent crosses, depending on how you want to look at it. And the 2 females are Maple and Hazel. Hazel was suggested to us for a boy's name. Sam and I had talked about it before we actually named him. I do like getting her input on that type of thing. And she suggested Hazel as a girl name because it's gender neutral. Trying to be a little PC around here. But with that being said, we're gonna start to try to do 2 videos a week. Probably one on. Shh. Katie is trying to butt in here. We're gonna try to do two videos a week. One on Wednesday and one on Saturday. So the videos might not be as long, but they will be contented pretty good. Let us know what we're doing good. Let us know what we're doing bad. Let us know any suggestions. Again, it's a whole new process for us. Been doing it about a month now, give or take, maybe a little more. But we never thought we'd start doing it because we were just kind of staying kind of to ourselves, I guess. But an update on the maple syrup season. We did have a couple warm days. I did get a little bit of syrup, or a little bit of sap. Not enough to sit and boil. For those who don't know, the ratio of 1 gallon of sap, or 1 gallon of syrup, is 40 gallons of sap. Because sap is mostly water, so you gotta boil all that out. So, but we'll get into that once the season starts picking up. Hopefully we'll get a couple more warmer days. Usually around Valentine's Day, the past few years, I've been able to tap. Keep a look on our Facebook page, Race Homestead on Facebook. We're there. There'll be some kind of a progression. I'm going to start doing a progression story there, where I started, where I am now, because I do have pictures of all of that. So make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification button on here. Boost us up, share us with your friends. Reverse Homestead at Instagram. Reverse Homestead at Facebook, on Facebook. We also have ReverseHomestead.com. Self-titled everything. So, but until next time, guys.